3, 2, 1. Oh!
What the fuck?
So a little while back, when we were first starting to put together our first pairs of the Flatstep Work Boots, we met with a lady who we were told knew a thing or two about making the toe caps. We ended up meeting with her, and you know, my Spanish was even worse than I would say it is now, but I could tell the vibes were off with this woman without even fully understanding her. You know, she told us that it would take 2 months after paying her 11,000 United States dollars, and then we would receive 3 sizes of toe caps. And so my first thought was like, well, what does it take to physically make a mold that, yeah, for a simple shape like a protective toe cap? What does it physically take to actually make that, to cut it out of metal? And also, you know, if she's right and it takes 2 months, and that's just not the time it takes for, you know, the trip across the ocean from China, well, how are we going to prototype this, and how are we going to actually have a working product that we can announce and do a crowdfunding campaign for on Indiegogo? Because you actually need a prototype to start soliciting money from people. So the first idea we had was to come up with a way to 3D print these. So we started out by 3D printing them with an ABS plastic, and our first model, after rigorous testing of just pretty much just beating it with random shit, it broke open. But it did show promise because it only broke along the 3D printer lines. It actually, the structure held up when we stood on it and stuff came down on it from the top, but it only split according to the lines. And then the other thing was, it revealed inside of it a triangle helix structure, which we didn't actually realize that the 3D printing guy was going to print it with these holes inside of it. But it led us to start thinking about, okay, well, could we hold it together from splitting if there was resin not only around the outside to keep it from separating, but if all these little holes were filled with resin? Well, our man Hugo with Inject 3D in Leon, Guanajuato, ended up printing one for us just out of solid resin, and it did superior to the ABS print, which had the holes in it. But okay, so we got a little too excited, and I football spiked the last at the ground after we drove off of it, and we discovered that its compression resistance is superior to its impact resistance, because one good, hard, excited throw and it exploded. So the tests are ongoing, ladies and gentlemen, but progress. Also, side note, the reason we have to make our own toe caps, we can't just use ones that exist, which would obviously be easier, and that's what you normally do when you're starting a boot company, is that they're really narrow. And the whole idea with our work boots, Flatstep Work Boots, is that it's a wide-toed, flat-soled, barefoot style / zero drop option. So we got to make our own toe caps that are wider so your toes can fit in them and not be squished together. Well, while we have different resins on the way to test out, we're still going to test out the filling the holes. We ended up meeting these other guys that completely confirmed my feeling about the first lady we met, who was the toe cap lady. These guys have a shop. We went there in person. It's a father and son. They've been at this for a few decades, and we saw it kind of answered the question, well, what does it physically take to make a mold? They've got all these molds here. They're like, oh no, we just cut them, whatever. You could see all the materials in their shop, and it goes way faster than what the lady had told us, and it costs significantly less money. So now the thought is, okay, we can either 3D print something that's similar to the resin like Hugo originally made, that can be run over by a car, except it's also got to be able to withstand a football spike on the ground. or we can print something with some sort of matrix structure that is able to be penetrated by a tough resin, if that's more strong. Or the third option, we still 3D print the perfect shape for our boot, but we use that to have a mold created so that we can do injection molding and just have the mold filled with a hard plastic or resin like other composite or plastic toe caps are made. So if you have to wear protective work boots either for your job or you wear them for stuff that you do on your own, and you don't like the feeling, that cramped feeling that your feet get from wearing those boots for any period of time, you should definitely go to our bio, and we've got a link where we have, it links you to our landing page where we explain a little bit about our project. You can see more footage and images of our boots. Now obviously you can see we still got a few more things to figure out here, but it's probably safe to say that most of the work of actually developing this product is behind us. So stay tuned for more updates coming up on that, and we'll see you guys soon.